What is everybody? What is up, everybody? Cliff Biggs here. Once again, playing some more Minecraft 1.17 with the 1.18 Datapack. Let's build Underhelm. Now, I'm starting to live with some form of regret since the update just came out that allows you to have like caves and cliffs in Java. You know, experimental settings, but it's like, damn it. I'm already started. I'm too far in. I can't stop now, not to mention there's no likelihood that I would get this exact same cave. Again, even if I took like the same seed and used that experimental setting. And then it's gonna be a pain, if rebuilding everything. But it's like, I walked in here. I knew what was gonna happen. I'm going to have to accept the fact that this is a world that's like, once it's done, I'm gonna have to move on. And this world cannot be saved at all. But, oh well. Ye have accepted his fate. Now, where we last left off, I started putting in these residential units. There's nothing inside them. They're all kind of like empty husks, move-in ready. But, there's not even like a bed or a furnace. I mean, at least there's a fireplace to keep warm. At least there's that. But other than that, we need to go ahead and finish yeah, I was doing the bridges. Yeah. Kind of forgot about that. Are these on the same level as they are? So I can do this like a straight path from here to there. And then that can go down here. Basically like a staircase. This can just go to over here, whatever I build here eventually. Oh no, I said I was going to build one here. But have it stretched out for 2 blocks, so that way that can go into that, and then that can go into that. Yeah. Now I remember. But other than that, what else? Oh right, yeah, this can go from here to there. I mean, these bridges aren't looking very bridge-like, to say the truth. They're suspended, they're hanging, but they're quite straight. They don't have any dips in them. I mean, this has like effing pillars. You won't see that other piece of wood. It just helps with my immersion, damn it. Yeah, anyway, Bats, can you kindly, like, fuck off? Yep. I highly doubt these are on a diagonal. Like, I'm not even sure how these two are on a perfect diagonal. Nah. Okay, good. It's not a perfect diagonal. I was about to say, like, no, this isn't. It's impossible. Yeah, this would be a wee bit thicker there. What I can do is this. And we need to do this. And done a perfect diagonal again. Fuck. My life. How do I do this? Oh well. A nice deck bridge. Connect the two. Should I put variations in heights? Just because this is a long bridge, it wouldn't be as flat as, let's say, something like... I mean, this literally has, like, fucking pillars and chains. And it's not that long of a bridge, so it should be fine. But these should have, like, sag in them. And having this, like, flawless bridge with no sag in it. Yeah, nah. if this was like a suspension bridge, well, technically it is a suspension bridge if it has chains going to the roof. And metal chains as opposed to ropes. Not to mention this is like solid wood paneling going across. But it is blanks, oh shit. Should I have it dipped down for my immersion? I mean, it is possible. Meanwhile, I'm still just, building it out. Making things that's going to be very hard to change if I want this to go downwards. Do I keep it flat just because I can? Yeah, that's fine. Buried in the earth. Call it a day. Damn it, sideways chains, you don't make sense. I still want to know, like, why sideways chains? Because it's not like the chains have sag in them. Like, if they had sag in them, I would accept, like, a sideways change. But we're talking about, like, sideways on a full-on 100% 90-degree angle with 0 sag. Like, that, it's like, how do you incorporate that into a build? You know, weird update, Mojang, weird update. Alright, but anyway, ignoring that. Oh, God.
Nobody likes you.
Well, nobody, you did it. You got to the 1 year mark. Ah, shit, I really need sub badges. Because both you and Cyber has gotten to the 1 year mark. I also need to resubscribe to Cyber. So I can finally get my 1 year mark there. But yeah, damn it, I done skirting like high as hell. I still need to do the badge, I need to do the sub badges. Need to do the emote revamp. It's like, yeah, I can understand why I'm like teetering off to like basically irrelevance. So much stuff I haven't done yet. Alright, yeah, a bridge like this should have like some sag in it. Alright, let me try it. So let me go ahead, destroy this perfectly good pathway that I've built here. Maybe not this one. It seems short enough that it'd be fine. Maybe this one over here just because it's a bit of a bigger bridge. Let's say every 2 blocks we want to go down out here. So here and here. Here and here, and that will be the lowest point of the bridge here. Let's see if I can make this work. There should be a... Wait, why did I do that? And that's gonna destroy the whole block, but that's fine. Like so. Get rid of that, and then another one over here. Oh, got a minute. And then this shouldn't form a whole block. Nope. And that's like the lowest point of the bridge, and then we have to go up by one. Hey, how has your day been, if I forgot to ask? Anything fun? Anything exciting? Anything new or revolutions? The work portion is over, so it's already looking up. I'm done with work, and that's all I can be happy for. God, my life is incredibly boring. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Gosh. Let me see. Can I get away with that? So, like so. Every day I get reminded of how much I hate that place. You and me both, because my workplace over here doing some funny business with the payments. Like, I'm missing like 4 hours of pay from my paycheck because of the damn flex scheduling. It's like you're scheduled to work on a day where the pay period cuts off, and now I'm missing part of my money here that gets pushed over, and then they do it again. I'm getting pushed over. My gosh, fucking darn it. It's like, I've been there for 3 months. This doesn't get any easier. Still overworked to high hell. And it's like, you really are just like fucking with my money now. And then I got this like attitude like, we don't know why people keep quitting. They just keep quitting. They don't take it. It's like, why? It's just like, I wonder why, huh? I wonder why, you sack of shit. I wonder why. Can I just do that? Does that look way too deep? Way too deep. I mean, It looks fine. It adds depths. Makes the bridge go down by layer. And it prevents me. I once read an article that stated that Amazon doesn't care if people quit and encourage them to even some of their branches as people to quit, since they mean they won't lobby for better pay and what not to be and what not to do being gone. Well, yeah, that's pretty much established that they don't really care if people quit, because Amazon's not in its position of having people stay around. Because one, obviously they don't want lobbyers. Two, they don't want to unionize, and it's harder to unionize if you don't have people that stay there for a long time to, unionize. But that's not my issue here. My issue right now is that, like, you're fucking with my paycheck here. Okay, at the end of the day, I'm missing money. Like, I don't give a fuck about your, like, we don't want people to, unionize for things like better pay and better work environments. So can you just leave? It's like, if you let me leave, offer me a damn severance pack. Because you know, like the U.S. is now starting to look at like things like mass exodus due to the employee shortage right now. Where surprise, surprise, people just don't want to, go back to having a piece of shit job and continue to make barely enough to scrape on by. It's like, who would have thought that? Like, oh my gosh, you mean people just don't want to go back to their same old shitty job that completely deserved their ass in their time of need because they didn't want to pay them livable wages? What? You mean even though we literally abandoned our asses, like, they actually have opinions about that and don't want to just, return to the same old abuse that they're used to? Oh my gosh. Like, it's really fucking sad that for, like, years, people have been going on, like, we need pay raises are needed, we need pay raises, and it took a fucking pandemic. Like, the world had to basically go into shutdown for people to go, like, hey, maybe human beings should be paid livable wages. Like, no shit, Sherlock. What was your first fucking clue? Like, the world shouldn't have to shut down for you to understand that it's fucked up. That you're making people choose between, like, food and electricity, phone and utilities. Like, somewhere in your head, you should really know, like, this is kind of a fucked up situation here that we're doing in one of the, richest nation in the world. There's only one other country whose money is worth more than ours. And yet somehow no one goes like, nah, it's totally okay. Just like, really, really gotta question people, sometimes just like, really gotta, like, I think you're a wee bit fucked up, mate. Just a wee bit, sort of bit, not even gonna lie, you are one fucked up motherfucker. As I said a year ago, near the start of everything getting shut down, and your COVID has killed a lot of people, but a lot of good has come out of it thanks to being able to focus their energy to important things. You know what's sad? The last time something like this happened, it was the Spanish flu, and that's because the Spanish flu killed millions of people, which is why we now have worker rights, just because of the Spanish flu. And that was 100 years ago. So that means it's literally going to take hundreds of years again before people realize that, like, fucked up shit is fucked up. It's like, you shouldn't need the world falling apart to tell you that you're one fucked up son of a bitch. But sadly, some people just really need that world falling apart to learn that they are one fucked up son of a bitch. Yeah, nah, let's not insult their mothers like that. I'm pretty sure the mother's also a fucked up person, but let's not insult their mothers like that. It really took the world shutting down for people to learn that they're one fucked up bitch. There we go. Okay, so that's more appropriate of a slope, which means I have to fix that disappointing mess up there. Great. Is it bad that I hope that the Delta variant brings more changes? No, not really, because here's the thing. Like, first of all, it's way too fucking early to unmask. Because the thing is, right now, is only 50%. What's going to happen is that basically COVID is going to keep passing back and forth between the unvaccinated and the vaccinated until finally it develops, like, anti-vaccine properties, and the vaccines that we all just took is basically rendered useless and a new variant has to come out. And that's basically what's going to happen. Like, there shouldn't be an unmasking protocol until we hit, like, at least 8%. That way the likelihood of the COVID passing from an unvaxxed person to a vaxxed person and back again into an unvaxxed person is significantly reduced. Because now it's just like, basically, it's now just going to become part of the, common lexicon of things you just have to worry about. There's going to be the common cold, there's going to be the flu, and now there's going to be COVID. Just because people just don't have patience. And there's nothing wrong with, like, hoping that the Delta variant basically caused enough harm that people get the fucking memo. Oh yeah, the trifecta of death! Because that's what the world needs. It's definitely what the world needs. It's like, literally the only thing you had to do was stay in your fucking house. Like, you know what? If the government wanted to handle that properly, which, you know what? Given the fact that it was Trump in charge, it's no real surprise they fucked up tremendously. But the perfect way would have been handled that would have been like martial law, shut down everything, like either cancel rent or gave money to pay off their fucking rent or just pay the fucking rent or just told everybody, you know what, we're gonna chill the fuck out, that all the government money in terms of rent. Because the thing is, all you're paying for is property tax. If the government basically said, like, alright, for right now we're not gonna charge property tax, then like the landlords who would still be collecting rent money, that would be straight going into their back pocket. In which case it would have been like, yo, chill the fuck out, okay? And then after that, they would have just had to have been, supplying food to the people. Which it could have easily done. And thus, if the people were getting, either a food coupon for those who can't cook or just raw food for those who can cook, it would have made it much easier for people to stay in their fucking house. It's like, we would have been way better off, But instead, no. Apparently, that's not possible because people just don't know how to stay the fucking one damn place. Yet somehow, can fight a war, Going off to kill foreigners or being killed by foreigners, yeah, I can do that. Sitting in my fucking house for a couple of weeks, I can't do that. Wear a fucking mask, I can't do that. It's too difficult. Like, the U.S. handled that situation the worst fucking possible way. And the sad thing is, damn, was it all just avoidable if people would just sit the fuck down. I think the problem is, we kind of have a nation that's dependent on constantly moving around so we can ignore how fucked up our nation is. Because when you think about it, the U.S. is a very fucked up place. Which is kind of why they don't want critical race theory. They don't want to, teach younger generations about slavery in its truly hard form because they don't want to admit that this country was built upon racism and that racism is the backbone about how this country essentially functions. Because we'd rather, talk about the Nazis and point at them rather than, people place way too much value on physical contact. Oh, people place. Okay, that was a typo. On physical contact as well. It's like, you don't need to see a person to know that person. You can make a shit ton of internet friends for people you have never met just by speaking to them or interacting with them. It's like we had the technologies for decades to go fully online. Just like we had the technology for decades to go fully green power. But for some damn reason, some old ass said will not, move in that direction. And now we have like probably the worst Congress ever been. We have half of it that's just fucking children, and the other half that has to fulfill two different roles rather than one different roles to avoid being this genetless blind as the last Congress was, or last administration was. Because someone decided that, you know what, Congress should be more like a sports. It's like, no. No. It shouldn't. That's a horrible thing. It shouldn't be like, Team Red versus Team Blue. You're supposed to argue two different sides of a coin. And have two valid arguments, not just like, ignoring the math and the logic. I just feel like this is the right decision. It's like, gosh, fucking did it. No one asked how about how you feel. He asked about hardcore math. But unfortunately, we live in a world of idiots with too much power and protection. Like, a lot of shit that would not have gone down if you still had, like, natural selection. But because, natural selection is dead, there's just a lot of bullshit that continues to exist that, in all honesty, should have been flushed out a while ago. I still have my coworkers fighting me on how to use the technology we have at our workplace. I still get questions about how to use the register. My coworkers had asked about basic function 18 times. 2 of those times were for the previous years. I don't understand it. Now, you just need to... you just need to get that job. Get the fuck out. And then when you get the fuck out, just let them crumble on their own weight. Because they probably do know it. But it's just because you're there, they're going to keep bothering you about it. Well, they say the older you get, the less you want to learn because you figure that you learned everything. Even though that's the wrong mental attitude to have, because you can never truly learn everything. But unfortunately, some people are just like that. There's the oldest of the two people. She really asked me how to do things after I show her. Yep. I've definitely seen that before. Like, I've had, like, customers when I used to work at the ISP. Like, I once had an old lady, like, her modem was old, so we gave her, like, a new one. Instead of asking for, like, a technician to come and do it like so many other assholes do, and then when you tell them, we're going to charge your ass for doing this because you can do it yourself, it's not that difficult, and they're all like, you can't do this to me, I don't know what to do, it's not fair. Like, I had this 75-year-old woman who just did it perfectly, understood it, one time, that's it, fastest fucking call. 75 years old. Meanwhile, I'm speaking to like 30 years old who just want to argue and complain. I want a technician to come out here and do this and hold my head. I don't know what it is about that generation in between, like the elderly and whatever the boomers. But it's like you get one with like a can-do. All right, let's forget how to do this because this is the future. This is how the times are. And then you get another one that's just like, hold my fucking head. I'm like, oh boy, this shit's ridiculous. It's just like, I don't know what it is. But it's just like you straight up just get one who keeps asking you to hold their damn hands for every fucking thing. It's like, no, you can do this. You are a grown-ass fucking adult. I shouldn't need to hold your fucking hand. It's like, hold my hand. And then another just like, alright, just do it once, boom, got it. And then like so subconscious about it as well. Like, oh, I hope that wasn't too much trouble. He's like, man, you don't know what I deal with. Like, shit, you just don't know. And it's like, I think it's just because of like they're overly spoiled. Like at the end of the day, we have a generation that's just like super fucking spoiled. So the reason why they keep having these fucking breakdowns every time they're told to do something is just because they're too fucking spoiled. And then like you have a generation after that just does it. Like something happened between either the really old generation, the boomers, and the millennials that just create this fucked up paradigm of like this generation is too fucking spoiled. This generation does the damn shit. But you know what? I feel really sorry for is like Gen Zers and the one who comes afterwards, because you basically have children who's watching like actual adults whose job is to be responsible for entire fucking nations of millions of people act more childish than these children can in their entire fucking life, even if they tried. In my coworker's eyes, you're supposed to ask people for help. No sense of self-sufficient. I would be okay with it had they try it on their own first, but they give it at most 30 seconds before they come to me for something that I am ultimately not needed for. Pretty much. Like this over-reliance of other people. And then it's like, you know what's sad? It's like you have a generation that's overly reliant of other people who don't want other people to be overly reliant on them. Like, most of them just want to argue against things like universal basic health care, universal basic income, just because they don't want people to be over reliant on the government. But at the same time, that's all they fucking do is rely on somebody else. Like, am I missing the point here? Because that seems to be all you fucking do is just rely on someone else to do it for you rather than learning how to do it yourself and figuring that shit out. Like, there's some shit I ultimately do not touch, whether I have a complete disagreement with it or it's just like, it's not out of my realm of possibilities here. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna leave this to someone who knows what the fuck they're doing or have more, like, not really know what the fuck they're doing. It's more like have more confidence what they're doing than I am. You know, I wouldn't like repair a car. I might do little stuff if I know it's like something super easy, like fill up wiper fluids or top off brake and power steering fluids, or fill my tires with air or just get a gas. But I'm not gonna go and like, I did change a flat tire once, but that's probably the most extreme. But I'm not gonna go and like, all right, let me go ahead and just rip out my engine here because that's clearly giving me problems here. Just like, yeah, no, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with an engine. I would do like minor stuff, only in extreme cases where I know it's like I can't fuck it up too badly. But if I know that I can fuck it up significantly, I'm gonna leave that to an expert. And that's when I do the trade-off. But it's like other people, it's just like every fucking little thing. I actually had some people mad that they got stimulus check at getting handouts. I don't get them. I also don't get why they didn't give that money away to me. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's like, I don't need your fucking handout. Forgetting that, like, if you accept unemployment, you accept handouts. If you accept food stamps, you accept handouts. If you accept TANF, you accept handouts. If you accept welfare, you accept handouts. If you accept Medicare, Medicaid, you accept handouts. Right. Not only that, but if you accept, like, emergency services, you accept handouts. Emergency services are tax funded. They come from the government. You know, if you ever called 911 and you got the police to come in, you accepted a handout. If you got firefighters in, you accepted a handout. If you're living in the project, handout. If you live in certain apartments, they are like halfway or completely funded by the government, handouts. If you went to public schools, handouts. It's like, whatever. Some people are just idiots and you can't argue with idiots. Oh, what is it? Don't play chess against a crow because they'll flip over the table and act like they won. Oh no, don't play chess against a pigeon because they'll flip over the table and act like they won. Yeah, that's it. You know what? At the end of the day, that's a dip. I'm not gonna fuck around with that bridge anymore. But yeah. Because I did see, like, did you see that person who basically, her family was raised on welfare and she was complaining about government handouts and was like, we don't need government handouts, was literally raised on welfare. And then when she went to go from welfare to opening her own business, accepted a payment protection plan from the government that she didn't have to pay off while screaming, we don't need handouts. A congresswoman from, I forget what fucking state, but if you look it up, it's very easy to find what I'm talking about. You can't argue against the stupid because the stupid doesn't realize how stupid they are. Okay, slab is not gonna make it from here to there. This is gonna have to be stairs. A mixture of stairs and slabs to make it all the way up there. Yeah, that is quite the height to traverse. Damn it. Am I gonna need ladders for this? Like, holy fucking shit. How the hell do I go from up here to down there? Or do I say, fuck it, don't even try that and just go from over here to over here and use this to go down there? Yeah, fuck it. I wonder how many types of COVIDs we'll see in our lifetimes. How many are there now? 6? Oh, there's way more than 6. I think there's over like 20 bloody variants that we know of. It's just a case of like they're dealing with whatever the ones that are most widespread. Because you gotta remember, there's like 13 different strains of the flu. And it's just because of shit, like, some strains of the flu are resistant to the flu sites or influenza. Just because they was able to pass from vaccinated people to unvaccinated people. Yeah, but there's multiple types of hepatitis just because of, like, you know, from vax to unvax. Like, the point is, if you don't vax everybody, any living organism will evolve. You know, whatever doesn't kill you make you stronger. And that's what these dumbasses don't get. That every time they refuse to do something as simple as get vaccinated, they make whatever we're trying to kill off a wee bit stronger. You know, problem with this wall is that it's way too fucking close to this. And now I kind of just want to push the entire thing back by one. I mean, I can. Doing it. Alright, so let's go ahead, get off the strenuous bits. Take all of the push, it's just like that one with the whole town over. What if we take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else? You know, completely ignore the fact that we have a plumbing system and electrical grid that wouldn't be able to be pushed like that, and the fact that we're trying to fight against, like, you know what, let's not argue actual physics with SpongeBob, okay? Let's just not, yeah, let's just not go there, shall we? That's some definite, like, you know, playing chess against a pigeon. But yeah, ultimately, like, I need to get the fuck out of this workplace here. They're fucking around with my money here. This fuck scheduling is the hot definition of hot-ass garbage nonsense. Like, just moving around your days off just fucks with your work-life balance so fucking hard. Over at Jeff Bezos, like, people shouldn't think of their work and life as separate things. They should think of it as a cycle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy does not work in his own warehouse. Also, like, did you ever see that thing about, like, the Zen booths that Amazon tried to do that immediately got, like, ridiculed by basically everybody as the most, like, wow, you're incredibly tone deaf, you sack of hot garbage shit. Your employees aren't asking for a place to rest, they're asking for breaks that you are denying them. Like, I love how they literally just call them cry booths. Because it's basically what they are. It's just a room to go into and just cry and have a mental breakdown out of sight and out of mind. And then I'm pretty sure he does absolutely nothing. You gotta remember, once you make money, your goal is to never, like, do anything again. Your goal is to have your money make you more money. That clearly came from a person with a master in business with no people skills or common sense. It was the person who was in head of, like, injury prevention that came up with the Zen booth. Like, your workers aren't getting hurt. That's the least of your problems. You have enough robots to prevent that. Your workers are taking shits and pisses inside of bags and bottles. Okay, that's your fucking problem. Okay, it's not like, oh fuck, Jimmy fell down the stairs again. No, that's not your fucking issue. Isn't Jimmy falling down the fucking stairs? Your stairs are fine, they're non-existent. Okay, but yeah, no. It's like the most inappropriate person for the job. But the sad thing is, it's always that person who gets those type of jobs because it's like, well, I'm already getting paid lots of money. And it's like, well, we need to justify giving this person lots of money. Let's make them do something else. Because, you know, it's way, way too difficult. Cannot be bothered, nor ours, to, like, you know, talk to employees directly. Maybe do, like, surveys, interviews, and figure out what they want. Or, you know what, you don't even have to do any of that shit. They have an annual strike against you. They have tried multiple times to, like, you know, get a fucking union involved. They got fucking Bernie Sanders involved. They got Obama involved. You know, they're pretty much making it clear about what the hell they want. And that pillar is way thicker than I gave it credit for. But you know, it's like, it's very clear, like, we want to have our fucking breaks. It's like, how do you have a lawsuit against you for crimes against humanity, and you're like, Zen booth. They want a Zen booth. Because at that point there, it's not a case of like, are you fucking with me? It's like a case of you just don't want to acknowledge reality. And that was like your best like attempt of continually denying the fact of reality exists. Because I think if, you know, you're having suits pressed against you for crimes against humanity, a Zen booth is not what you need. It's like, we don't understand. Our workers here, they seem to be getting sick from like radioactive poisoning because we make them work in a nuclear reactor. What the fuck is going on here? They keep crying about radiation suits. And, you know, cleaning off nuclear waste. I don't get it. What's going on here? I got it. What if we put like paintings up and like modern art, and that will do the trick? Yeah. Like, that's basically like Amazon's level of tone deaf there, you know? It's like, what do? You handle nuclear waste in a nuclear reactor, and you can't figure out why all your workers keep getting like cancer and shit? I know. Let's just put in like paintings, you know? Modern art is clearly the problem. Not like, you know, radiation leakage. Nah, we need more modern arts. Don't say that, you know? Oh my gosh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So, and then 2 this way, and all the way to -5. Hey, when I'm right, you know I'm right. Relative coordinates. Actually, what am I doing? My relative coordinates to my relative coordinates plus 9. My relative, actually, now let's go up to -5, and my relative coordinates plus 2 with air. Boom. There we go. But like, that's basically the only way you can describe like the Zen booth and how you come to that logic, is that you really are just straight up trying your best to avoid looking. It's like that person putting their finger in the air, says going, no, 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 I can't hear you, no, 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 no. The sad thing is that this person has a shit ton of money, controls a huge, decent part of the internet, and could pretty much, you know, bend the government to their will, while at the same time just go up by, they can go, no, 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 I can't hear you, no, 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 blah, 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 blah. And that's the people who, like, you know, give responsibility to, which is why I don't really shop on Amazon. Because the thing is, I'm finding that Amazon is, like, more expensive than other places, you know? It's like, I was looking up, like, SSDs that I need for a computer build, and it's like, they're more expensive on Amazon than if I were to buy them, like, from Newegg. So it's like, I'll just buy from Newegg then. And then I was looking at like clothes and like, because I'm gonna need like a shirt for an interview I got coming up, or hopefully soon. Still need to speak to schedule that, and I realized I kind of just don't really have clothes. And I find like, they seem to be cheaper at like Targets. So it's like, I'm basically shopping way less at Amazon, and I'm kind of just enjoying it. It's making me feel less guilty about shopping there, and they're pricier. Oh my god! It's Flaw! Okay, that was a bit of an overreaction there. I'll have to go with Flock. Alright, I will admit that was a wee bit of an overreaction. I admit I may have been a jerk for that one. But it was still funny, I think. I'm not sure what constitutes funny. I don't know. Oh my god. Nothing much. We was just talking about how some places are absolutely shit. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that might have been a wee bit toxic, and I apologize for that. I'm actually lightheaded for doing that now. No, no. Oh god, what the fuck? Oh god. In my experience, Amazon has been the cheapest. They have also been the most convenient, allowing me to try clothes on before committing to buy them for good. They have also been there for when things have gone AWOL, whereas I have not heard nearly as much reliability from the other stores. That's my only reason for going there. Still, that doesn't stop me from looking for the best price. Still, I shop and look at things like eBay, namely uses Switch games and stuff. I mean, you do know, like, a Target or a Walmart will allow you to try the clothes before committing to buying, right? It's just that only, like, Amazon will allow you to do that in your house because, well, they're e-commerce, they don't have a choice. As for games, yeah, it's kind of hard for, like, used games unless you just look on eBay. I guess they'll shop online for them. I'm not sure the extent they're like, you can return it with their online shopping. Oh, gotta stretch people. But yeah, I kind of just, don't really want to shop on Amazon. Yeah, but why do you even need to like try them on? If you know your clothing size, you just can buy without issues. Just stay away from anything that says tight fit and actually get the measurement numbers. Because some people just like, I don't know what the fuck they measure their XLs by, but holy fuck. You get some that's baggy as fuck and some that feel like a skin tight suit. Oh wow, congrats, nobody. I didn't know you was losing weight. Alright, anyway, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I moved this back. Should give me some room to build. I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and toss this away. Well, even if you have been losing weight, all your old clothes should still fit you. They should just be extra baggy. That's all. As for pants, just wear a belt, man. Kind of like the looks of this building here, so I think that's what I'm going to mirror over there. Something like this wing here. So let me see, what the fuck do I use for this? Probably not deep slate. I feel like I'm using a wee bit too much deep slate. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the look of Deep Slate, but I feel like I'm using a bit too much of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is hold on. Go ahead, brush out the copper. I have been wearing a belt daily. I had to, or my pants would fall off immediately. I need a new belt as well since the old belt just seems. Oh, you know what you should get? Like, I'm not sure if you're still using like the leather belts with the holes in them. Fuck those belts. What you should get is like the one of the nylon belts. I forget what the hell they call. I think military belts. They might be called. But basically, it's almost like a flat rope, and you just have a buckle that just basically spikes into it, and like that's it. So it can constantly adjust with you, and that's basically what I've been using. Cause fuck belts, okay? They either stretch out, or when you lose weight, you have to put new holes in them, which makes them weaker, and they always disintegrate into nothing, especially those leather belts. So it's like I've got a nylon belt. I had it for years. It's doing the trick. It always stays tight, and it's been able to adjust with my weight loss without issues. So that's the belt I just got. I did not know the type this was. I just saw that it was cheap. Like, yeah, that's basically what I've been using for my pants, and I will never go back to a leather belt ever again. Like, fuck them pieces of shit. Okay? Technology has progressed to the point that we don't need those anymore. And I will take full advantage of that progress. Because the leather belt was a mistake. Those military belts, those military people know what to think about. Still, I can't be bad my old belt. I have been for daily use. This the store's best $4 ever spent. I don't know. My leather belts, like, yeah, they can last you for like a good 2 to 3 years, but it's just like they always get that stretched out look that I hate, or they just finally like snap. It was like when a belt gets like all stretched out, it kind of looks like shit. And it's like, I kind of would prefer my belt didn't look like hot ass garbage shit, you know? Especially when I'm dropping money on that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like the military belt. It wasn't like super cheap, but it's just like it hasn't lost its form. It hasn't gotten like stretched out. It hasn't thinned out. It grips incredibly well. It still holds its grip. I just throw on the first clean set of clothing I see each day, so I never notice those details. Well, you're gonna notice it for a belt. It's not like you keep like 15,000 belts on your hand. A belt is pretty much one and done type scenario, unless you're one of those weird people who just has a different belt for every day of the week. It's just like, but why? But assuming you're not one of those weird people who have like a different belt for every day of the week, because that makes no fucking sense and kind of a massive waste of money. You're gonna notice like a belt starting to wear a tad bit, wee bit thin. Still, I cannot see myself going back for military styles belts. Now that taking it off is a bit annoying when I need to use the restroom, but boy, do I feel secure with it on. Yeah, that's a wee bit of an issue. Like, I had one that was like ratcheted, but the problem is the ratcheted one, it could stretch out. That just spike and lock. So good. Like, you gotta trust military specs for certain shit. Like, a belt. One of those cases where the armies know what they're doing. And I guess it makes sense. The last thing you want is a soldier going out the war. It's like, I'm gonna kill you, and their pants fall down. Oh wait, hold up. Just like, God. Oh my god. I kind of have to wonder, as horrible as to laugh about that, how many soldiers do you think actually lost their life because of belt this gave out on the while it was running towards it. Oh, I'm going to hell for that one. I'm going to hell for that one. But, you know, it had to have happened at least once in war times, and that's where the military thought came from. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Something told me that must have happened in World War One. Okay, I have to go, but we should play or talk off stream soon. Unfortunately, I have work after stream, so I won't be able to do that. And I kind of don't know where my next day off, because unfortunately, this week they only had me on the schedule for 4 days, and I had to talk to my boss like, hey, I'm gonna miss me a whole day of paycheck if you don't fix the schedule. And my boss is basically an asshole when it comes to, you know, fixing the fucking schedule. So I'm gonna have to go into the office and, like, check to see how they fix it. Because I'm not gonna work, like, fucking 10 consecutive days. Because I really hope they didn't just, like, alright, we'll take this day off and left the schedule as it is. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be working all the way from now to next fucking Saturday straight. So, kind of have to talk to my boss to make sure, you know, they did the reasonable thing and just, you know, move my day off to, like, you know, the Monday. And just took a day off the weekend. Because I feel like they might have did some stupid shit like that, where they just, you know, straight up, like, you know, took that day off so I can have, like, a 5-day work period. But didn't think about the fact that, like, oh yeah, if he take this day off, he's gonna be working, like, 10 fucking days straight. Where is the scheduling manual? Oh, they're there. It's just whatever manager that comes in during the day, towards the end of my shift. So, you know, I'm just gonna have to go in there once again, sit in the office here, make sure they change the schedule, get a printout. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Anyway, as good as this looks, this is gonna be touching. If they touch, do I give a fuck? No. Alright, that answers that question. But yeah, so basically I just have to, you know, just stay in the office and make sure they actually, you know, fix the schedule with some form of, like, you know, common fucking sense. And not do something horribly stupid, like, you know, remove a day, not think about the fact that I'm gonna be working 10 consecutive days. I already got fucking injured at this damn place once for working too much. I don't need that shit again. Okay, a swollen foot is not fun. Okay, that's the opposite of fun. That's anti-fun. That is not fun. Shit. I love how Flock are like, damn it, meltdown! Like, Flock, next time I have a day off, you wanna play, like, some Stick Fighter or some Uno? But, yeah, no. So, I gotta talk to them about that. I also need to just get the hell out. Because it seems like as much as they bitching, they kind of just want people to leave. And there are some businesses that just want their employees to leave so they don't have to give them, like, pay raises. Because technically by law, you do have to give an employee a pay raise the longer they work with you. And I believe the longest you can draw it out for is a year. So, you know, every year you're supposed to get a pay raise of some type. Usually it's like somewhere between 10 to 25% more. it's literally nothing in the grand scheme of things, and it'll take multiple decades for that to actually be something worthwhile. But it is something required by labor laws. Nobody going like, what the fuck? Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, there are like literally some places that just try to force employees to leave so they don't have to give them a pay raise. Because, fun fact, if you work at a job consistently for years and your paycheck has not changed, you will get investigated by the IRS. Because they're going to call fishiness, in which case you either sell out your boss for not giving you a pay raise, in which case the BBB comes involved, or you're going to be winding up owing more taxes than you do because they're going to believe you're skirting taxes. But yes, by law, you are supposed to receive a pay raise. After a year of employment. And they will like look at it if you keep saying like your payment has not changed or your paycheck has not changed. Like if you work a W-2 job, no, your paycheck is supposed to change over time. Because I do believe that's kind of what happened to my stepfather. It was like his boss wasn't changing his paycheck, and so like the IRS says, you owe us more money here because something fishy is going on here. And the guy's just swearing up and down. I was like, no, my boss just doesn't change my paycheck. Oh shit, no! But yeah, there's like numerous reasons why you want to get rid of like an old head employee. One is that you're going to be paying a lot of money for a person who's basically doing the exact same job over and over again, and has basically found the most efficient way of doing that job. So it's not even like a struggle for them. It's more like easy money. And some places don't like that. But you know, that just comes with the territory. The more you do something, the more efficient you get at it. Yeah. I mean, if your boss, like, well, it's up to you. You could technically, if you wanted to, take your boss to, like, court for wage theft. But it's about whether or not you want to, press suit against a family member. Because you would be owed, like, years of overtime, not to mention, kind of pay less than minimum wage. Okay, accidentally made a cross. So, nah. What we're gonna do is break that, and let's do the polished die right here. Get away with this, dude. That just sticks out a bit too much. I didn't exist there officially until a year ago and have no proof I was ever there. I mean, if you ever got paid with a check, that'd be all the proof you ever needed. Or if you had a bank account, you can use your bank statements because they will show every time you deposit money into your bank account. And therefore, you can probably argue that, like, every time you see a deposit there, that's money you got from your job. But, let's not talk about taking people to court for wage theft. But fun thing about wage theft, since we're already talking about it, it's the most common form of thievery there is. Because apparently, compared to like Grand Theft Auto, larceny, armed robbery. Wait, larceny is just armed robbery, right? Yeah, that's larceny, right? Armed robbery. Yeah. So compared to like Grand Theft Auto, armed robbery, and bacon entry, none of them even hold a candle to how much people lose in terms of wage death. Nah. It's just that we don't report wage death as a public crime, even though it is technically a crime. It's just that it's the most prolific way of getting robbed. The suits do more damage to this country than gangbangers, pretty much. And that is pretty much well known. I mean, you gotta remember, like, when you're arguing against, raising minimum wage, you do more damage than any, like, criminal has ever done before. And that's just not an opinion anymore. That's just fact. Because it's like, there's no real way to justify, denying, like, a raise in minimum wage. You can't really justify it because you just can't. It's just like pure greed at the end of the day, and that's all it is. Because especially for people who worked through a fucking pandemic, it's like you lost your fucking job. Like, a lot of them lost their fucking job. A lot of them was kicked out of their damn job. A lot of companies, like fucking Delta pisses me the fuck off. I'm like, first of all, they accepted like the payment protection plan. They still fire people in the thousand. They even said like, oh, even though we're getting loads of money here and we have loads of money in our bank account, we're still gonna fire people. Oh, don't you worry, we're still gonna fire people en masse. Because it's not enough to meet our goals. Which really you are just a sack of hot garbage shit. And then they have the nerve, after firing people en masse, to ask people to volunteer their hours. Like, I'm not even fucking joking on it. Like, where do you get off, you sack of hot garbage shit? Where the fuck do you get off? Like, you fire people en masse, you accept the payment protection plan, you still fire people en masse. You had no problem telling them, like, oh, we're still gonna fire these people, but we'll take your money. It's not gonna save anybody, but we'll take your money. And then you have the nerve to ask for, like, people to volunteer your hours. It's funny and sad how essential workers are treated as heroes during lockdown, but treated for chemicals for not wanting to be abused. Well, technically, you was always treated for a criminal for not wanting to be abused. Like, did I ever tell you about the time I actually got written up because a customer threatened me? And when I reported the customer for threatening me, Corporal didn't like the fact that I reported the customer for threatening me. And literally the write-up was, like, even though, like, the person seemed to be mentally unstable, and they said something that could have been taken along the lines of a threat, and was even asking questions about my location, that I shouldn't have reported them because they felt like I was being insensitive to a person who was threatening me with anonymous harm. So I actually received an actual, like, write-up for it. Oh, don't you fucking lose bits on me, stream. Come on, knock it off. But yeah, at my previous job, I received an actual write-up for not accepting a threat that was made by a customer. And the reason being is that I was being insensitive to the customer who was threatening me for no damn reason. And that if I would have looked at the notes, it would have said, like, the customer is mentally unstable. And not officially diagnosed, just like someone else's opinion that the customer might be unhinged or unstable. And that I should have just accepted the threats rather than reported the guy. Even though this was just like I feel like I'm being threatened here. Like, I'm not pressing suit or anything. I just feel like I'm being threatened here. I got an actual like write up for it, and was put on disciplinary action for doing so. This looks weird, but okay, I like it. It's staying. But yeah, so that's just kind of how the business world works. It doesn't make any form of sense whatsoever. And truth be told, it seems very unsustainable. Which, you know, multiple people have argued it's like our form of capitalism is very unsustainable here because if anything threatens, even by little, it just falls to pieces almost immediately. This is not solid pillars. But yeah, there's that. I like the looks, but I think this should just be solid like this. So let's get rid of that and just make this a solid bar across like that. And there we go, like that better. Yeah. But other than that, where's my train of thought? I don't remember what was my train of thought again. It's just like, you know, once you argue against like raising minimum wage, it's like you are literally the bad guy. Because you're basically saying that, like, even though people have went and dealt with way more than you did, like, you gotta remember, these people are literally, like, what, housed up in an office building where they could easily stay 6 feet apart away from each other, making a shit ton of money at the same time for not really doing shit. They're arguing about, like, a raise for other people. It's like, wow, these people will go from, like, you know, what is it? At the current minimum wage, you would make like 18,000 a year. As you raise it to 15, you would make like 28,000 a year. So like a 10K raise in their gross paycheck, not their actual net paycheck, because most of it's just gonna be taxed to oblivion. I get more taxes now than I did before the fucking pandemic when I was making more money. Because I was literally making more money at my older job, but I was only being taxed 22%. I now make less money, but I get taxed 24%. So it's like, yay, I'm now being taxed more while making less because that clearly makes sense, you know. They don't want anyone they don't want anyone other they don't want anyone other system to succeed either. Any one other system to succeed either. Socialism gets put down all the time. Communism has been sabotaged attempts at every turn on the guise of communism evil, capitalism is good. Yeah, but here's the thing, it's like ultimately our capitalism is not true capitalism. Things like social security incomes, like 401ks, even things like unemployment insurance, welfare, Medicare, Medicaid, that's all socialism at the end of the day. If it's money that comes from the government, even if it's money that you yourself put into the system so that you yourself can take out of the system when you desperately need it, it is a form of socialism. If we had a purely capitalism society, none of those things would be there, and we would pay significantly less taxes. Like, even public education is technically a form of socialism because it's government funded. Like, if we had true capitalism, there would not be taxes because you could not charge taxes in true capitalist society. Capitalists state that like everything you have, you worked for. If there's anything you receive from the government, you didn't work for it; it was given to you. like I said, don't ever argue. I mean, don't ever play chess against a pigeon. They'll flip over the board and claim that they won. I kind of want to make these patterns match now. Damn it! Alright, time to redo a wall. Just break all this. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, like in a true capitalist society, you would not be able to charge taxes outside of, like, you know, property tax, because you're not buying the land, you're renting the land. But also in a true capitalist society, you would be able to buy the land outright, so you wouldn't have to pay property tax at all because you bought the land. But yeah. Whatever. Just can't argue with these idiots. Speaking of which, are we getting that fourth stimulus check? Like, I've seen people who have been signing the petitions, but let's all be honest, does change.org really do us anything? Because I feel like that's just a meme. You know, I see, like, you know, millions of people signing petitions for, like, 2,000 monthly, which I would love a fucking 2,000 a monthly. Like, shit, give me 2,000 a monthly. That shitty ass car, boom, throw it in the garbage. Get a brand new car. Okay? That'll support the economy. This fucking apartment, boom, throw this apartment in the garbage. Get a new apartment. That'll support the economy, especially with, like, new buildings coming in. Let me get 2,000 monthly. Watch how fast we move into one of those. Shit. What? You want me to buy shit? Sure, let me go ahead. Let me finally get that second monitor I wanted. Boom, support the economy. Get a new bed. Boom, support the economy. Get a new mic. Boom, support the economy. Like, let me get 2,000 more monthly. Do that shit. Watch how fast I buy shit, okay? Worry that shit's going into, like, some saving? Nah, we don't do that around here. Like, if you're worried about saving, that's only because California has more common sense than a lot of other damn states in this fucking country. I mean, sometimes it lacks a lot of common sense, but sometimes it has more common sense. I didn't start eating healthier until I started making more money and could consider buying it. Yeah. Like, shit. Let me have more money. I'll start buying some fruit and veggies. Support the economy. Because right now, it's like, my diet is kind of extremely unhealthy. Just because I'm missing out on, like, a lot of stuff that you should be getting from natural sources rather than artificial sources. Like, I kind of just, you know, use a meal replacement shake to get, like, a lot of vitamins that I'm missing. And nutrients. Which really you shouldn't do, because getting that type of stuff from artificial sources can do more harm than good in the long run. They don't understand that more money equals more people buying things. No. It's more money into broke people's hands. You can't give money to the rich. The rich will just take that money, put it in their savings, call it a day. That's not gonna do shit for the fucking economy. You wanna help the economy, you have to give it to broke ass motherfuckers who never had shit in their life. Let them all of a sudden get like 2,000 out of nowhere, and they're gonna be buying shit on fucking mass. Damn it. Okay? You got stores worried about going out of business. Let some broke fucker get some money. They're gonna go into that damn store and start buying shit they never bought before, okay? Like, you got fucking Victoria's Secrets, like, oh shit, what are we gonna do here? We barely managed to scrape by. Give some broke bitch some money. Watch her go in there and buy all the fucking panties in that goddamn store. I tell you what, you gotta give the right people the money. Okay, you set the bar real fucking low in terms of how much they can make, and they will spend like a motherfucker. Alright, and that's the fucking problem. They want to give rich people money. Stop giving rich people money. They don't need money. They rich because they don't know how to spend their fucking money. You gotta give it to broke people. Give that shit to broke people. Watch they spend like crazy. Okay, you give them that money, they'll be broke again. But the only thing is, they'll be broke, but they support the fucking economy versus they'll be broke and they're asking for welfare. Broke. Oh my gosh. Hmm. That is true. But yeah. That's kind of the problem what they did with the stimulus check the first time around. They gave it to rich people. Because I remember when that first came around, there was like a millionaire who was like, I make millions. Why am I getting another million from the government? Just like, and he was basically told to shut the fuck up. It's like, you don't give a millionaire more millions. That's not going to do shit. A millionaire doesn't go and spend a million because he just got a million out of nowhere. And he didn't have to work for it. They're just going to go ahead, take that money, put it in their bank, and call it a day. Okay, if money is in a bank, it's not doing shit. Only if the bank does shit with that money, then it's doing something. But most of the time, it's doing the worst thing possible. Like buying houses at like 20 to 50% more than what they're worth. So that you can deny people the right to buy a house and make it so that everybody has to rent a house. Some didn't even give it back. You gotta remember, only some people give a fuck about being exposed. Other people are like, yeah, they gave me money, I don't give a shit. Like Delta, who receives money and still fire people, didn't have the nerve to ask people to volunteer their hours. Like, I still can't believe Delta has the nerve to ask people to volunteer their hours. And to keep going to the point where it actually made, like, national news, and they have, like, no shame in that. It's like, you're fucking Delta, mate. You have billions in your fucking bank. And then they have the nerve to say people are just lazy. Like, eventually one day I would love to fly on an airplane and either go to Germany or Japan, one of those two. Germany because I like engineering, Japan because, well, anime is life, anime is love. But it's like, at some fucking point, have some fucking goddamn shame already. Which Delta apparently has none of. Over asking people, as a multi-billion-dollar company, asking people to volunteer their hours because you don't have enough staff. You're like, if they don't volunteer, people are gonna wait for hours. It's like, okay, it's called hiring people, get them more money. You know, maybe go after those people that you kind of just threw away, even though the government gave you money to keep them, and give them, like, you know, a nice big apology, 50% raise, a sign-on bonus for coming back. If some idiot really volunteers, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna volunteer because, you know, they really were struggling and they had a hard time, they need support. Meanwhile, sitting on more cash than, like, was needed ever in their lifetime. It's like, oh no, we have over tens of billions of dollars, and because of the pandemic, we lost a couple hundred millions. How will we ever financially recover? Oh shit, we just made back all that money in 1 month. Like, I really hope some dumbass do not actually volunteer. Like, there's so much better stuff that you can volunteer for. Delta is definitely never one of them. Okay, I really hope some dumbass truly did not do that. Okay, like right now, because the airports are so fucking fucked, like, you should be keeping your ass home and waiting till they make that better and better. Because so far, they only did 1,000 sign-on bonus here, which you have to work for 30 days to get it. So it's like, That's it. Like, the sign-on bonuses are a scam. They say sign on, which makes you think, oh, I'm gonna get this for when I get the job. But it's like, you have to work for like a month or 3 before you get that. It's like, it's not a sign-on bonus at that point. I'm not a newbie if I've been there for over a month. I definitely didn't just sign on to get a bonus here. Like, I've been working there for a wee bit of time there. I would be considered an experienced employee. I definitely would be like, not really tenured, but past probation at that point there. Like, I feel like there should be a lawsuit about that sign-on bonus, because, like, it feels like a scam. Like, if you're waiting 30 to 90 days to get a sign-on bonus, then how can you call it a sign-on bonus? It didn't happen at the moment of sign-on. You was already working for quite some time. All it is that you got one extra paycheck. I really hope that like there is a lawsuit, like a class action lawsuit against these companies that do sign-on bonuses that are not at the moment that you sign on, because they really should be called something else. Continued, I don't know, post-probation bonus, time bonuses, timely release bonuses, like something that states like this is going to be after some time. It's not a sign-on bonus to get people to come and join you real quick, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get more money if I join this person, but rather to make it clear like, hey, you get this if you stay with us for a while. Because I really feel like it's just deceptive marketing, and it's like, last time I checked, deceptive marketing is how your ass gets a nice big fine from the government, so why the fuck are people still allowed to do this shit? Where's the lawsuits at? You sued for coffee being too hot. Why are you not suing for using the word sign-on where it's not a sign-on bonus? For the millionth time, that coffee was not just hot Java, it was hot lava. Point being, is like if someone can get so mad about coffee being hot, where is the lawsuit for sign-on bonuses not being a sign-on? It's not happening at the time that you sign on, it's happening months after. Like, this feel like a ripoff, but somehow it's just going through. You know, where's false advertisement lawsuits? You can argue that coffee was extremely hot, but I can argue that a sign-on bonus that doesn't happen at the time that I sign on with the company is not a sign-on bonus. It's a scam. I could probably get more people to agree with me as well. Also, I love how like all these companies are arguing against like, you know, we can't do $15 minimum wage, and it's like everyone just raised their paycheck to $15 anyway. So it's like, well, shit then. Because they're trying to argue like mom and pop places wouldn't be able to afford that, but it's like, no, mom and pop places would definitely be able to afford that because they're not as poor as people seem to make them out to be. Some of them do, in fact, have something called money. It's just that some of them, a lot of them, in fact, make their money from like wage theft and denying employees their actual, like, you know, compensation that they deserve by having to work overtime without, you know, giving them overtime pay or denying them certain stuff. Like my fucking company, it doesn't do true holiday pay. Like, seriously, every other company I ever worked for, holiday pay is time plus time and a half or time plus double time. This company, it just counts as overtime, that's it. I'm like, fuck you, you sack of hard garbage shit. Especially when you are a food-related industry, which means during the holiday, you would be busy because you supply the raw food that people need for, like, the cookout and their celebration, because every fucking holiday is celebrated with food. Like, I hate to be the one that bears that bad news, but every fucking holiday is celebrated with food. Tile, copper, tiles, deep slate. Tile, copper, tiles, deep slate. Okay, yeah, fine. And the fines need to be bigger first. Every time a company gets punished, it's always pennies. It's because those fines and all those punishments were made back in the day where that would have been like a lot of money. It's just that nowadays, what they consider to be a lot of money isn't a lot of money. But the point is, they keep them that low because it's like, well, if smaller business did this, and we charge them the same amount of money that we charge big businesses to do, that would just take that business out, and we would cost a lot of people their jobs. And so, like, and then it's like, oh, but it wouldn't be fair if we charge a bigger company different than a small company. It's like, no, it would be quite fair if it, was an exponent. Okay, or just a percentage, like you already do with taxes. Taxes is literally a percent. So if you get a person who makes more money, you tax them harder than a person who makes less money. Because it is percentage based. Rather than just having a hard fine, make it an actual percent rather than a number. Because you make it a number, then people can just calculate it out, like, oh, here's how much it would be. And it's just like, oh wow, is that really going to hurt us? No. If you make it a percentage, then you put some fair in their eye. A season? Some people can make back that money in a day. And that's why they don't give a fuck. It's like when Justin Bieber was fined for like speeding. They gave the guy like a $3,000 fine. It's like, I have millions in my bank. I can literally wait an hour for my albums to sell, take that money, and pay off this fine. And that's just Justin Bieber. That is like literally one guy. Never mind a fucking company here. It's like Apple just got like recently sued for like a 10 million, I think. The fuck is 10 million to Apple? Meanwhile, Google got still sued for like a couple of billions. It's like, first of all, these double standards need to go. But second of all, it's like 10 million is nothing to fucking Apple. Oh no. Their value at $1 trillion. They don't actually have $1 trillion. It's just that they are believed that like eventually at some point, if they don't fuck up with their business model, they will eventually make like $1 trillion. Even though I do believe Apple currently has like 100 billion plus. Like, I think they have like 150 to 180 billion. So I'm not sure how you're valued at $1 trillion, or that's like almost 10 times what you currently have, but whatever, sure. But yeah, it's like, what is 10 million to Apple? What is $1 billion to Google? Oh, okay. And then it's like the lack of consistency as well that makes it a lot worse. It's like you have like, Apple, Google, Facebook, YouTube, all doing shit that like, when Microsoft did it, you went after Microsoft hardcore. You fucking annihilate their ass for doing it. Yet when these companies are doing it, you're just letting them go. And it's like sometimes it's like literally the exact same shit, just two different companies here, and you're just letting them go for some damn reason. It's like, no. If you find this one company for doing it, you go back and you find the other company for doing it, and you be just as harsh, if not harsher, because it's the second damn time you have to tell someone to stop doing something. Like, honestly, I think like if you if you're a court system, you find a company for doing something, you tell them this is bad, don't ever do it again. And you have another company in the exact same industry doing the exact same shit, I think it should be a higher fine, just because I know your dumbass was listening when I told this other person that they shouldn't do this shit. Cause you know that companies are listening in on that. Especially if you're in the same industry and you're thinking about doing the same shit and you want to know what's gonna be the consequences for doing so. Like, I feel like that should be a raising thing. Okay? And it should just keep going up and up until eventually people stop it. And I get like some people are gonna make their money from it. And others gonna be like, oh, damn it, I missed out. I could have did this. I would have been fine. You know, it would have cost me that much. But eventually, everybody will stop doing that shit. A slap on the wrist, let's be honest. At most they're doing is probably just spitting in their general direction. Like, especially with Trump latest lawsuits, which is like, I love how this guy was president and he doesn't understand the First Amendment. Like, you gotta love when a person is a president and they don't understand the laws of which they are making and are governed by. Well, technically, a president doesn't make laws. The president signs things into law, but still. Over here, social media violated my First Amendment right when they banned me. It's like, once again, the First Amendment means that government wouldn't be able to ban you from a website if it was a government-owned website. It does not affect private citizens and private companies. Or even public companies. Because technically a public citizen is a government employee. But it's like, how do you not know your laws that you are governed by? Meanwhile, everyone else knows that, like, at the end of the day, this is a frivolous lawsuit, which, like, right now, Trump is a private citizen again. He's no longer president. Which means if Facebook and all the company he's suing wanted to countersue, they can. He's no longer protected as a government entity anymore. He's a private citizen since he's not the president. So basically, he can just keep pressing lawsuits, and then Facebook and the rest can be like, you know what, we're trying to frivolous fucking lawsuits. We're pressing our own fucking lawsuits for frivolous fucking lawsuits. And guess what? They'll probably just win that. Because at the end of the day, it's frivolous as fucking hell. Because he's done argued like the same thing, what, twice? Which I'm pretty sure they're just waiting for that shit to pile up. So when they go after him, they can go after him for a nice chunk of change. Be like, yeah, let's make it $1 billion for every time he did this shit. Yeah. And let's just make a coalition here since we all seem to be in the same pool. Yeah. Like, alright, so we're or like the coalition of social media. Coalition of social media. My god, if that's not a thing, that needs to be a thing now. And like, this guy here has been suing us over and over again for exercising our First Amendment right. Saying that we are infringing on his First Amendment right, even though that's not how the First Amendment works here. And has basically launched numerous lawsuits that we have to spend money on just to prove that, like, this is stupid and pointless. Well, technically they don't have to spend money unless the court approves the lawsuit. But I'm pretty sure they're just letting that shit pile up, and then they're just gonna come after the guy, and the guy's probably gonna deal with that other person did, where it was like, what's the company that does like the polling machines, and they recently sued somebody for defamation. Ah, fuck. I don't know, but I know like a congresswoman got sued claiming voter fraud, and like the people who did the voting machines are basically saying like, this person had no fucking evidence and they've been ruining our reputation and making us think, making people think that we're unreliable. And basically their whole entire like countersuit was like, oh come on, no one in their right minds would believe that there was voter fraud. despite the fact that like there was an advocate of saying that there was voter fraud, that was basically their counterclaim. That no one sensible would believe that there was voter fraud, even though they themselves kept saying voter fraud, voter fraud. I don't know. America's in a weird state right now. Super weird state right now. Because we have like very few leaders, way too many children. And it's just a case of like, how the fuck do you govern this? So it's essentially just a shithole. But especially after the pandemic. Like they don't want to investigate the terrorist attack on Capitol Hill that try to interfere with like an election, which is basically like a fucking coup de grace. Like, how do you not want to investigate a coup de grace? Well, an attempted coup. I mean, it's not just Florida, Georgia. Also, remember Florida as well just changed their voting laws. Speaking of sticking to their guns, remember in Texas, you can have a handgun with no fucking training whatsoever. You don't even have to prove that you own the damn gun that you have. Just like, what? Firearms that can just kill people, threaten the safety, absolutely make, it worse and harder to govern with peace and control. We demand that the people just have them willy-nilly. We're going back to the Wild West. You know, when crime was extremely rampant. Like, basically, everything that's going on in New York right now, we just want in Texas. That's all. And it's basically just what's going to happen. A spiraling crime rate. No one can do shit about. Because your governors seem to believe it was an extremely good idea. To get rid of any form of, like, policing that could have happened. Like, what? Nah, this makes a shit ton of sense. Like, you see, here's what we gotta do. We gotta get rid of I just finished this. Right? Not only am I realizing there's no way in, but I'm just realizing, alright, there's no easy way to go from here to here, and then from here to here. Bust this open. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe common sense is not a requirement for being a governor. And that's why it seems weird to me. Because you would think, common sense, education, leadership skills, accountability, responsibility, morals, giving a fuck about, human lives and whatnot, you would think that would all be stuff that you need if you was gonna take public office. But apparently, nah. You don't need any of that shit. You just need money. That's it. And for people to not go against you in the races. Like so many of certain Republicans who just went unopposed. Like, can politics no longer be a sports team? Can no longer be a case of, like, who says the most outrageous thing? Can we go back to, like, where it was just people making decisions based upon, like, historical data, evidence, census, public opinion, facts? I mean, granted, some stuff is done completely arbitrarily for, like, the sake of religion, which is the worst deciding factor ever to make a decision upon. So, you know, if you can just, you know, get that out of office, that'd be nice. And get, like, you know, common sense in. That would also be nice. I mean, everything kind of took a downhill turn when a certain idiot took the office, and then we got someone with brains taking the office, and then we went back to a certain idiot who was more of an idiot than the previous idiot. But you know, you gotta love how one person can get impeached for getting a blowjob in the Oval Office. Another person can't be impeached for tax fraud and, like, you know, sentencing over 200,000 people to death. I mean, not 200, 500,000 people to death. But no, though. Like, I know they both started off as, like, you know, Hollywood actors and whatnot. And both had some great delusions about how the country should be run. But one didn't commit genocide as high as the other. Like, just gonna, you know, go ahead and point that out. He only did that so he can prove a point about his war on drugs. Oh boy, these vines have gotten out of control. Yeah, these vines have gotten a wee bit out of control here. Let's go ahead and sort an interjection here. Actually, I have to end the stream here. Alright, guys. If you like this type of content where I discuss politics, housing, and bad management, yeah, please be sure to tune in during my attempted regular stream time frame on Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 1900 to 21 hours for those of you live in the area with a 12-hour time format. Where I'll be streaming more of the hell I like. If you like to catch up on anything that you missed, you can always just tune into the VODs or my YouTube at user.com/cliff piece at best, because you know I am. If you're watching this live, you can use !YouTube to get that link, as well as !Discord to get that link for after stream shenanigans. Thank you, nobody. Other than that, here, this is where I'm going to go ahead and wind it down here and show the love of support to someone else with a good old-fashioned raid. So if you're watching the VODs, this is where I say, oh, wait. Can't end the stream just yet. I have to do the thing. The thingy thingy things. Hold on. Slash, there's so much shit I have to do for this. Slash effect clear. Get rid of my night vision. Option, shaders. Filter 5 bits extreme with 5 metric lighting. Oh shit. Whoopsies. Can we not have mysterious ghost lights, you know? Like, That's not how reality works, damn it. There we go. There we go. And let me clear away this. Alright, so once again, really should get back to like building over here and getting some more stuff in over here, but so far I'm loving this residential area. I have to kneecap some of these vines here. They're growing a wee bit too long for my cave. But yeah, look at that. This is starting to actually get impressive. Look at that. Wish I could make it a wee bit brighter in shaders, but not sure why. But no matter how much I crank up the brightness, it just does not go anywhere for shit. Oh yeah, I really have to end stream. Hold on, guys. A little bit more brightness. Let's say 2.5. Can we get a little bit brighter in here? Yeah. A little bit, but not by much. Alright, guys. If you're watching the VODs, this is where I'm going to have to go ahead and say bye, internet. If you watch this live, stay where you're at. We're going to go ahead and raid somebody, shall we? As always, the raid message is going to be get raided noob. Yeah, this place looks amazing. And another screenshot. Alright, we need to go ahead and raid somebody like right now. So let me turn off these shaders here. Get this game here. Whoops, probably should have raided somebody before I did that. Oh well, you're just gonna see me desktop. Who be raiding? Who be raiding? One of these days I'm gonna have to find new people to raid, but oh well. Alright, as always, the raid message is going to be get rated noob, followed by raid emote, followed by 3 heart smelts. If you don't have the emotes, you can always lock them with channel points, or you could just always subscribe. Other than that, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.